Imagine a warrior so powerful that no sword could cut him, no spear could pierce him. A hero whose name echoes through the ages as the ultimate symbol of strength and glory. But what if I told you that even this invincible fighter had a fatal flaw, a single weak spot that could bring him down? Welcome to the epic tale of Achilles, a story not just of unmatched power, but of love, rage, pride, and a destiny that even the gods couldn't change. Buckle up, because we're diving into the heart of ancient Greek myth to uncover the life and death of a man who became a legend. This is the story of Achilles, the immortal warrior who could still die, told in a way that everyone can understand and feel. Achilles was born in a small Greek region called Thessaly, a land of rugged hills and fierce warriors. His father was King Peleus, a brave mortal ruler, and his mother was Thetis, a divine sea goddess. Being half human and half god, Achilles carried a unique destiny from the moment he first opened his eyes. Whispers spread that he would grow to be mightier than any man who ever lived, but others cautioned that the favor of the gods often came with a heavy price. Thetis, like any loving mother, feared for her son's safety. She couldn't bear the thought of losing him to the harshness of the mortal world. An ancient legend spoke of a shadowy river called the Styx, said to grant near-invincibility to anyone bathed in its dark waters. Determined to protect her child, Thetis took baby Achilles to this mysterious river. Holding him by his tiny heel, she dipped his body into the chilling current. The magic of the Styx hardened his skin against harm everywhere, except for that one small spot on his heel where her fingers held him. That heel remained ordinary flesh, vulnerable in a body otherwise untouchable. As Achilles grew, his extraordinary gifts became clear. He sprinted faster than any other child, leaped higher, and wrestled with a strength that seemed beyond human. But raw power wasn't enough to shape a hero. Thetis knew her son needed guidance to temper his might with wisdom. She entrusted him to Chiron, a wise centaur who lived in the wild hills and had trained many great heroes before. Chiron was no ordinary teacher, half man and half horse. He understood both the ferocity of battle and the calm of nature. Under his watchful eye, Achilles learned to wield a spear with deadly precision and draw a bow with perfect aim. But Chiron taught him more than fighting. He showed Achilles how to mend a broken bone, soothe a scared companion, read the signs of approaching storms in the sky, and find water in barren lands. Most importantly, Chiron instilled a vital lesson. Strength without restraint could harm as many as it helped. A true hero, he said, knows when to strike and when to hold back. Achilles took these words to heart, training tirelessly, growing not just in muscle, but in patience and understanding. One fateful day, Thetis sat her son down and revealed a prophecy about his future. She told him he faced two distinct paths in life. On one path, he could live a long, peaceful existence, fading into obscurity with no songs or stories to remember him by. On the other path, he would march into a great war, earn eternal fame as a warrior, but pay for that glory with a short life. In Greek myths, fate isn't a mere suggestion. It's an unbreakable rule, respected even by the gods. Achilles didn't hesitate long over his choice. With a fire in his heart, he picked the road of glory, ready to burn bright even if it meant burning out fast. Meanwhile, far away in the city of Sparta, a crisis was brewing that would pull Achilles into the pages of history. King Menelaus ruled there with his wife Helen, a woman whose beauty was said to rival the goddesses themselves. A Trojan prince named Paris, charmed by Helen and aided by the goddess Aphrodite, stole her away to the city of Troy. To Menelaus, this wasn't just a personal betrayal. It was a slap in the face to his honor and a violation of a sacred oath sworn by Greek leaders to defend Helen's marriage. Furious, Menelaus rallied the Greek kings to wage war and bring her back. His brother Agamemnon took command of the massive army that assembled. Heroes from across Greece joined the cause. Odysseus, known for his cunning mind. Ajax, a giant of a man with unmatched bravery. And countless others. But everyone agreed the army wouldn't stand a chance without Achilles. His reputation as an unstoppable force had already spread far and wide. Thetis, haunted by the prophecy of her son's short life, tried to shield him from the war. She hid Achilles on the island of Skyros, disguising him in women's clothing among the daughters of a local king, hoping the Greek army would sail without him. But Odysseus, with his sharp wit, tracked him down. He arrived with a chest full of beautiful dresses, and a few weapons hidden among them. When the disguised Achilles instinctively reached for a spear instead of a gown, Odysseus knew he'd found his man. "Greece needs you," he declared. Achilles couldn't deny his true nature. He shed the disguise, embraced his destiny, and agreed to fight. Returning to Thessaly, Achilles gathered his loyal warriors, the Myrmidons, a fierce band ready to follow him anywhere. His closest companion, Patroclus, stood by his side as they sailed to join the Greek forces. But the journey to Troy wasn't smooth. The fleet stalled when the winds refused to blow, and a seer claimed the gods demanded a sacrifice to appease their anger. Agamemnon made a heartbreaking decision to ensure the ships could move forward. Finally, the army set sail, and the long, brutal Trojan War began. The Greek ships landed on a vast beach near Troy, where they established a camp and fortified it with walls to guard their vessels. In the distance, Troy loomed with its towering stone defenses and impregnable gates. The Trojans, led by King Priam and his noble sons, including the valiant Hector, had many allies and a fierce determination to protect their city. In the early years of the war, the Greeks raided nearby towns, and Achilles emerged as a whirlwind of destruction. His speed and ferocity in battle were unmatched. Stories spread of his lightning-fast strikes, his gleaming armor, and the deadly thrust of his spear. He won treasures and respect, becoming a living legend among the Greeks. But war is a grinding, merciless beast. It depletes supplies, claims lives, and frays even the strongest spirits. It also breeds arrogance and resentment. Achilles earned a significant prize during one raid, a woman named Briseis, awarded to him by the army as a mark of honor. Agamemnon, the High King, had taken a similar prize for himself. But when Agamemnon was forced to return his captive to avoid the god's wrath, he demanded Briseis from Achilles as compensation. To Achilles, this wasn't about losing a person. It was about losing face. In that ancient world, a hero's honor was everything, his shield against shame. Furious at this insult, Achilles swore he would no longer fight. He ordered his Myrmidons to stay in their tents, and even asked his mother Thetis to plead with Zeus, king of the gods, to make the Greeks suffer without him, to show them how much they needed his strength. From the sidelines, Achilles watched as battles raged and comrades fell, refusing to lift his spear. Without Achilles, the Trojans gained the upper hand. Hector led daring attacks, pushing the Greeks back toward their ships. The Trojans came dangerously close to burning the Greek fleet, which would have spelled disaster. Despair gripped the camp, and Agamemnon swallowed his pride, begging Achilles to return. He offered gifts, gold worth thousands of dollars, and heartfelt apologies. But Achilles stood firm, believing Agamemnon should have respected him from the start. He wouldn't be swayed by bribes. Patroclus, however, couldn't stand to see the Greeks slaughtered and their ships threatened. He approached Achilles, pleading for action. Achilles still refused to fight himself, but allowed Patroclus to wear his iconic armor and led the Myrmidons into battle to drive the Trojans away from the camp. "Save the ships, then return," Achilles warned, cautioning his friend not to pursue the enemy all the way to Troy's walls. Wearing Achilles' shining armor, Patroclus led the charge. The Myrmidons roared with renewed hope, believing their champion had returned, and the Trojans fled in terror at the sight of the familiar gear. The Greeks pushed the enemy far from the camp, but Patroclus, caught in the heat of victory, ignored Achilles' warning. He chased the Trojans right up to the gates of Troy, where Hector awaited. In a fierce duel, Hector, aided by other Trojans, struck Patroclus down. As the helmet fell, Hector realized it wasn't Achilles, but it was too late. Patroclus died on the battlefield, just meters from Troy's walls. When news of Patroclus' death reached Achilles, his grief was earth-shattering. Legends say his cries echoed across the sea. He tore at his hair, threw dust on his head, and felt as though the ground beneath him had split apart. The man who had sat out the war for pride now burned to fight for his fallen friend. He vowed to face Hector and avenge Patroclus, no matter the cost. But first, he needed new armor, as Hector had claimed to set Patroclus war. Thetis went to Hephaestus, the god of the forge, who crafted a magnificent new set for Achilles. The armor glowed like fire, and the shield bore intricate designs of cities, fields, children playing, dances, stars, and oceans, a reminder of the world Achilles fought to protect. With a new spear in hand, Achilles returned to the fray, swearing to kill Hector and drive every Trojan from the field in honor of Patroclus. The moment Achilles rejoined the battle, the tide turned. The Trojans trembled at his approach as he carved through their ranks with unstoppable fury. His eyes were fixed on Hector, but he showed no mercy to anyone who stood in his way. The battlefield grew thick with dust and dread. Finally, near Troy's walls, Achilles and Hector faced off. Hector had once fled from Achilles, running around the city 3 times, but now he stood his ground. He asked for a pact, that the victor would return the loser's body to their family for proper burial. Achilles, still consumed by rage over Patroclus, refused to promise mercy. They clashed with all their might. Hector fought with courage and skill, but Achilles was faster. With a lethal strike, Achilles drove his spear through Hector's neck, felling the Trojan prince. Yet Achilles' anger didn't fade with Hector's death. In a brutal act, he tied Hector's body to his chariot and dragged it around Troy's walls for all to see. The Trojans watched in horror and wept as Hector's wife and parents cried out from within the city. Achilles wanted them to feel the same pain that tore at his heart. That night, King Priam, Hector's father, did something incredibly brave. He slipped out of Troy alone, entered the Greek camp, and knelt before Achilles in his tent. He kissed the hands that had slain his son and begged for Hector's body, saying, "Think of your own father." Imagine his grief if you died far from home. For the first time since Patroclus' death, Achilles felt his rage soften. Tears streamed down his face as he looked at the broken old man. He agreed to return Hector's body, ordered food to be brought, and promised a truce for funeral rites. For a fleeting moment, 2 enemies sat as equals, sharing a quiet understanding. The war paused for grief and respect, and Hector was buried with honor as Troy mourned its hero. Achilles had his revenge, but he knew his own fate hadn't changed. He had chosen glory over a long life, and though his name shone brightly, he understood the end was near. Let's see how the warrior who seemed untouchable met his end. Hector's death didn't end the Trojan War. Troy's walls still stood defiant, and the Greeks continued their struggle. New allies joined the Trojans, including Penthesilea, the fierce Amazon queen who led her warrior women into battle. Stories say Achilles defeated her but admired her bravery. Another formidable foe was Memnon, king of the Ethiopians and son of the dawn goddess. Memnon's strength pushed the Greeks back, but Achilles bested him in single combat. Yet each victory felt heavier to Achilles. The loss of Patroclus haunted him, as did the memory of Priam's plea. He knew the gods had marked his path, and there was no turning back. The Greeks still couldn't breach Troy's defenses through brute force. They needed a cunning plan, But before it could unfold, fate had one final chapter for Achilles. In Greek myths, the gods often meddle in mortal affairs. Apollo, the archer god and protector of Troy, had watched Hector's death and the desecration of his body. He judged Achilles harshly for his pride and cruelty. Deciding the time had come to intervene, Apollo took action. During a chaotic battle near Troy's main entrance, the Scaean Gate, Paris, the prince who had sparked the war by taking Helen, stood with a bow in hand. Though not the bravest fighter, Paris was a skilled archer. Guided by Apollo, he loosed an arrow that flew true across the field. It didn't strike Achilles' chest, arms, or head. Instead, it pierced the one unprotected spot on his body, his heel. That small wound, in the only place untouched by the stick's magic, was enough. Achilles fell. The Greeks rushed to his side, but no remedy could save him. Some say the arrow was poisoned. Others believe fate itself ensured no cure would work. Achilles faced death without fear. He had chosen his path long ago and knew his name would endure. He urged his comrades to protect his armor, honor Patroclus, and keep his body from enemy hands. He breathed his last on the battlefield, mere kilometers from the city he had fought so hard to conquer. The Greeks battled fiercely to retrieve Achilles' body, bringing it back to camp amid cries of anguish. Even the sea nymphs, kin to Thetis, were said to rise from the waves in mourning, and Thetis herself wept on the shore for her son. The army held a grand funeral, burning his body on a towering pyre. His ashes were placed in a golden urn alongside those of Patroclus, so the friends who fought together in life would rest together in death. After Achilles' passing, his legendary armor was to be awarded to another hero. Two warriors vied for it: Odysseus, renowned for his intellect, and Ajax, celebrated for his might. The Greek leaders chose Odysseus, a decision that left Ajax bitter and heartbroken. In some versions of the tale, this choice led to further tragedy. Meanwhile, the war dragged on. Unable to take Troy by force, Odysseus devised a brilliant ruse. The Greeks built a massive wooden horse, hiding warriors inside while the rest of the army pretended to sail away in defeat. The Trojans, believing it a victory trophy, dragged the horse into their city. At night, the hidden Greeks emerged, opened the gates, and let their comrades back in. Troy fell in flames and sorrow. Even in victory, the Greeks remembered Achilles, crediting his speed, fury, and skill for carrying them through the darkest times. Yet his story also served as a warning about the perils of unchecked anger and pride. Why does Achilles' tale still resonate thousands of years later? His life captures timeless struggles we all face. He embodies incredible strength but reminds us that everyone has a vulnerability, and Achilles heel. As we still say today, meaning a small flaw that can undo even the mightiest. His choice of a brief, glorious life over a long, quiet one speaks to the human desire for lasting impact. Achilles wanted his name to live in poets' songs, and though he achieved that, it came at the cost of peace and longevity. His story poses a question: what kind of life is worth living? Each of us might answer differently, but the question itself forces us to reflect. Achilles also illustrates the destructive power of rage. His anger at Agamemnon kept him out of battle while friends died, and his fury after Patroclus' death drove him to cruelty against Hector's body. Yet when Priam begged for mercy, Achilles rediscovered compassion, showing that even the fiercest warrior can learn humanity. His deep bond with Patroclus reveals the strength of loyalty and love. His grief over that loss is a pain many can relate to across time. Even Thetis' desperate attempts to shield her son with magic reflect a parent's universal wish to protect their child, though the story teaches that even a goddess can defy fate. This isn't meant to despair us, but to remind us of humility. Beyond emotions, Achilles' journey highlights the value of skill and duty. His years of training with Chiron weren't just about combat. He learned healing, music, and the broader world. The images on his shield, fawns, cities, dances, stars, suggest the hero's role is to safeguard peace, not just win wars. Most know Achilles from the ancient Greek poem, the Iliad, which captures only a slice of the Trojan War, focusing on his wrath and Hector's death in the 10th year. It doesn't detail Troy's fall, but it cements Achilles' fame by showing his heart as much as his might. For centuries, the Iliad was recited by traveling bards, later written down, studied in schools, painted by artists, carved in marble, and retold in countless ways. Today, his name appears in movies, books, and games as a symbol of supreme talent and tragic risk. The Iliad emphasizes anger and grief, because these are raw, real parts of life and war. It shows a mighty warrior can weep, a great fighter can err, enemies can respect each other, and a father's love can soften a hardened heart. These truths keep the story alive. Let's summarize Achilles' life simply. Born of a mortal father and divine mother, he was made nearly invincible by the Styx, save for his heel. Trained by Chiron, he became the greatest warrior of his era. When a Trojan prince abducted a Greek queen, sparking war, Achilles tried to avoid it, but was drawn in. He fought brilliantly, until a dispute over honor with Agamemnon made him withdraw. Patroclus, wearing Achilles' armor, died at Hector's hands. Driven by grief, Achilles returned, killed Hector, and initially dishonored his body before showing mercy to Priam. Soon after, a god-guided arrow struck his heel, and he died. His name endured. From Achilles, we learn strength doesn't shield us from hurt. Everyone has a weak spot. Choices define us. He picked fame and accepted its price. Anger can blind us, neglecting friends and duty, while mercy can heal more than triumph. When he returned Hector's body, he created a rare moment of peace in war. Training and wisdom matter. Even heroes need mentors. Love fuels bravery, as seen in his return for Patroclus. Stories like his aren't just old tales. They carry lessons, warnings, and mirrors of our best and worst selves. Achilles isn't a god to idolize, but a reflection to study, showing strength, pride, sorrow, and honor through a single fateful choice. After the war, many Greeks faced hardships on their journeys home. Odysseus wandered for years, others perished at sea, but Achilles' name remained a beacon. Poets, soldiers, thinkers, and teachers kept his story alive as a symbol of courage, a caution against rage, and a debate on fate versus choice. Even our language holds his mark with Achilles' heel for a critical weakness. Later tales imagined him in a paradise for heroes or as a shade regretting glory over life, each version offering different insights. Ultimately, picture him not in his darkest or final moments, but when Priam clasped his hand, and two foes saw each other as human. Strength met sorrow, pride met mercy, and war paused for love. That's the core of Achilles' story, told simply yet fully. For more gripping myths from every corner of the world, subscribe, like this video, share it with a history-loving friend, and comment on which hero you'd like to hear about next.